How's it going, old schoolers? You're kicking it old school with Russell J.S., and I am your host, Russell J.S. Well, this week I was out and about, and I came across a place over in North Fort Myers, Florida, called the Antique Mall, which a lot of them places are starting to show up. And I'll tell you what, when I see stuff from when I was a kid, you know, at places like this, it makes me feel old that a lot of the stuff I grew up on is now antiques. Just today I was driving around town. I saw a 1991 model Lexus sedan driving on the highway, and it had one of these Florida plates that a lot of these classic cars have, called where it says it's an antique. And I'm like, wow, I remember when the Lexus automobiles were brand new, like yesterday. I was 13 years old back in 1991. I mean, I remember everybody was talking about it. That was going to be, I didn't even know up until my father had a pre-owned Lexus that they're really Toyotas. They're like Toyota's answer to, say, like Ford has Lincoln or General Motors has Cadillac and Buick. But I was blown away to know that that car is considered an antique now. But I went ahead and I was looking in this place. I was just browsing around. I saw a lot of cool stuff I remember from childhood. And I had no intention on buying. I was trying to hold on to money. But sometimes, you get to that point in your life when you're browsing around, you run into treasures that, it might be a once in a lifetime kind of thing that you may not find ever again. Well, my temptation got the better of me, but I don't regret it. What is it that I had found? Now, you all know that aside from Pac-Man and all the other old school video games from the 80s and the late 70s and early 90s, you all know my infinity for pinball. I had found an electronic handheld pinball game, LCD. Well, sort of LCD. Take a look at this. Da, 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 da. This is called Talking Pinball Wizard by Video Technology. I love how they call it Pinball Wizard. It makes me wonder if The Who know about this, because they do have a song called Pinball Wizard off the album Tommy. And, if they don't know about this, I hope they'll just kick back. I hope Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey will just kick back and laugh about this. And they don't try to find if this company called Video Technology exists so they could go and sue them. Now, according to the back of this, it runs on 4AA batteries, and it was in 1988. It was made in Hong Kong. I mean, a lot of stuff was made in Hong Kong too. And what's really cool is it's got this switch where you can keep the sound on or off, and it's got a earphone jack too. So that way, I guess back in 1988, if kids were on board an airplane and they wanted to play this, the parents would be like, okay, put the earphones on so you don't, or keep the sound off so you don't disturb all the other, passengers on the plane, because some of them are sleeping. Which that's understandable, because I remember the one and only time I took my Coleco Pac-Man on the airplane, I pulled it out of my backpack and my mother said, no, there's going to be people sleeping. You don't want to disturb them. And I had Coleco Pac-Man in there with a couple storybooks, a little maze, little labyrinth game with a little ball in there, and, a couple toy cars, coloring book, and a comic book, what I would usually take with me on board the plane. But look at this thing. I mean, this is definitely something back in 1988, a young kid I know this would definitely be in the back seat of the car if me and my parents were going on a road trip that would be 3 to 5 hours away from home to keep me occupied till we got to the destination, along with Pac-Man. My father would definitely love this, considering it does have a volume control and an earphone jack, so he wouldn't have to hear the noise of it except for me pushing on the buttons. And wait till you see this. Look at how much I paid for this unit, too. And it still works. $15. And heck, I bet back in 1988, brand new, this thing retailed at least, maybe $25, almost the price for a Nintendo cartridge. And this is the way I bought it, just as you see it. So without further ado, let's check this bad Oscar out, shall we? All right, the first thing you want to do when playing Talking Pinball Wizard is you push the on button.
Welcome to the Pinball Wizard.
See, there's my high score. I've already played 27,900. It's got this little demo thing, too, until you push the level player button right down here. See, look, there's the overview of all the lights, the note sound effects. I like this little thing right here with the silver ball. That's cute. But this is how you play it.
Good smash.
First,
Choose your game.
there we go.
Too bad.
Oh, too bad for me.
Good smash.
Ooh.
Too bad. Too bad. Game over. Need more practice.
Yeah, need more practice, my eye. That's just a demo, but yeah, take a look at this thing. I mean, this is how you play when first you hit the level player button,
Choose your game.
and then you hit it again, and then there you go with this button. Not only does it act like the plunger, but the flippers as well.
Good smash. Too bad.
But yeah, that's Talking Pinball Wizard by Video Technology in 1988. I could not resist. I had to pick this up. It was $15, and sometimes there are some treasures out there that you just got to go ahead and you just got to go for it because, you never find anything like that again. And, I could show you something. And wouldn't you know it, look, it makes really good shelf decor too. Yep, you see there's the Pac-Man, all the different types of Pac-Man with Space Invaders down here. All I need is a Coleco tabletop of Ms. Pac-Man, and I could have a whole Pac-Man shelf right here. See, there's Galaxy 2 from Epoch. But, yeah. So there you have it. Sometimes you go through these antique shops, this day and age, Generation X. If you're a Gen Xer, old school Gen Xer, you never know what you're going to find. Check around this place was formerly a Publix supermarket that I remember being there. And, you'll never know what you will find when walking around this place. But that's all the time I have right now. I got to get ready to do some things for Kicking It Old School. Just wanted to show you that new treasure that I found. Always remember, keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it chill. Listen to 70s, 80s, 90s music. Watch 80s TV shows. Watch 80s movies. Play some Atari. Play some Nintendo. ColecoVision, Intellivision, Sega, whatever game console you desire. And, do it all, man. Do it all old school. And remember, Godspeed. May the force be with you always. And shuckalaka kapow.